If you want to make something that looks like it took way more time than it actually did, let's get into this. So first we're going to go into Cricut Design Space and we're going to just go into the shapes tool, and then we're going to go ahead and choose the square and then duplicate it. We're going to make 9 different squares. If you're using this for a different project, you can of course make more squares, less squares. You can kind of put however many you want and you can line them up depending on how you want. For this one though, we're going to take it. It's going to be a shape of a square and it's going to be 9 in total. So you just want to make sure that you're lining them up as closely as possible. You really want to utilize the rulers and the grid lines in this one, because this is what's really going to help you in the end. It's really going to make this project a lot more simple. It's going to make it easier to clean up and align them to where when you print this out, they're going to be lined up, because that's what's going to make or break this project for you, is how you align these squares right now and when you cut it out and lay it on whatever you're placing it on. So I'm going to go ahead and make this a little bit larger so that we can see it a little bit better. And then once you have everything kind of positioned how you believe you want it, you want to go up here and go into the align tool. You will utilize this function for this project multiple times. Actually, multiple times just right here. After this, you're done. But you want to align it to where they are aligning to the bottom. And I don't know why, but this made it to where it was just aligned perfectly. So then I went horizontally and now I went vertically and now I'm going horizontally to where we're going to line these up row by row and column by column, just to make sure again that they are lined up and that they are symmetrical with one another. Then once you're done with this, what you want to do is you want to change the colors, and you can choose whatever colors you want. These are the colors that I'm choosing because I just think they kind of went with the project. You can make this every single a different color, but I wanted to keep the same pattern and theme of colors. Then what I'm doing is I'm going into Cricut Design Space and I'm looking at their images. I wanted Spider-Man, but again, it is a trademark image, so I don't want to use that in a project, especially if you're trying to sell this design. But I went with this because, this is almost a universal sign for Spider-Man. You want to use something that is, it resembles it and people will get the reference that you're trying to make without having to actually use the image and, possibly get sued. So now what I'm doing is I'm going to go, I don't want the spider's legs going inside the, like those blank spaces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy each one of the squares. So I'm going to select all the squares, then duplicate it. Then while it's still highlighted, you want to right click and push combine and then weld them together. And again, you don't want to unite, subtract, you want to weld them together. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate the spider on top of it. So once the spider is duplicated, I'm going to duplicate it right here. I'm going to place it exactly where I want it lined up as it is in the original image. And then you're going to select the spider plus that welded design, so the yellow squares. And again, make sure you're taking your time to line this up. And once you have it exactly where you want to do it, you want to slice it. You're going to delete that first layer of the spider, and then you're going to delete the background. So those squares you're going to delete. So once that's done, you're left with this outline of the spider. The original spider, you're going to go ahead and delete, and then you're going to place this on top. See how freaking easy that was? It looks like it was way harder than it is, and it is so easy to do. So once we're gonna do that, then you're pretty much done. So you don't have those spider's legs going through those empty spaces, because I think it just makes the design a lot more dynamic when you don't. Now what I'm doing is I'm going ahead and I'm placing, at first I was gonna just place all the squares. If you have a ruler, you can just go ahead and place all the squares like kind of however you want all at once, but I found that was too difficult because they kept moving. If you have maybe some heat resistant tape, that might work, but I didn't want to do that. So what I'm doing is I'm taking each piece of the vinyl that I've already weeded and cut out, and I'm going to align it on the carrier sheet of the spider. So I'm taking that first. This is going to be the center one. So I'm lining it up with the t-shirt and I'm just eyeing it. And then what I'm doing is I'm placing it exactly on the spider's carrier sheet where I want it to lay. And I'm going to do that for the entire first row. So you're just taking those little pieces and you're going to position it behind or under the spider's carrier sheet in order for it to lay. And this is sped up. I know it looks like it's not, but I promise you it's still sped up because of the fact that's how slow I went ahead, because I did not want those HTV vinyls to move, because guess what? that is going to make or break your design, is how these squares are laid out. They have to be laid out symmetrical to each other, because one is going to mess up your spider where it's laying, but it's also going to mess up the look of the t-shirt, because you want these to be rows and columns to be even. So I'm placing each square under each piece of the spider. And again, these last 5 pieces, I'm just rolling it out and keeping my hand on top of it so they do not move, because once they are pressed into the shirt, y'all, it's over. It's over. That's where they're going to stay. So I'm placing that, and you see how I did it. Now, when I place the carrier sheet of the spider, it is completely even. And then you peel and you are done. So this will be perfect for any game day, any birthday shirts, or anything like that you want to design. All right, of course, see you on the next video.